this week I was Ask the Athlete on FEI. This was from Hello Free Reign. What do you eat before a show? Honestly, it really depends on the day. Sometimes I don't eat. If it's a really early class, I'm just not hungry yet. Other times, if it's a later class, then I'll grab some eggs or just something really light. But I am one of those people who can eat pretty much at any time. Stilitza_D. What pets do you have other than horses? I don't have any other pets other than horses. We just have a lot of horses. Next question was from Abby and Fern. Who was your inspiration when you were young? I would say that Richard Spooner was my mentor for, the majority of my career, and of course still is. And, I've also really looked up to Marcus Enning. So yeah, those are kind of my two main people who inspire me in this sport. Chesney33. How many days a week do you train in and out of the saddle? When everything's normal, obviously right now with COVID, everything's a bit jumbled and with the rain, but normally the horses I ride 5 to 6 days a week, and jump school maybe once a week, but not very big. I would say I jump bigger once a month and like around 1.40 meters. And then out of the saddle, I try, since about August of last year, I've been working out, at least on the low end 4 times a week, but usually it's about 5 to 7 times a week. Heart Outfitters. How do you stay fit out of the saddle? I like to do a combination of things. At first I was just doing yoga, but it was strength yoga from a place called Core Power. And then I incorporated Orange Theory, which was really good for cross training. And then Hot Works when I was in Wellington as well. And actually Orange Theory got me into running. So now I run a few times a week at least. Leon Janby, do you sometimes get anxiety or a fear of failure? And if so, how do you deal with it? I was always taught that it's not anxiety, it's adrenaline. So for me, that's a positive instead of a negative. And if I ever feel that adrenaline rush, I just let that help me to focus on my job and my track and, what I walked in the ring and what horse I'm on and all of these specifics, so that I don't focus as much on like my heart pumping really fast. And failure, this sport, you're failing more than you're winning. So I try not to look at it as failure. I try to look at it as a learning experience, and everything or every experience that doesn't go the way you hope, hopefully that helps you to understand how to be better and to focus on the things that didn't go right and then train and fix them. So that is kind of how I look at those two aspects. Lucas Villano, how do you take care of your horses daily and after training, at home or a show? So I have Hugo Ramirez and Jose, Hugo's been with me for a very long time, and he is the backbone to our business. I could not do any of this without him. He's meticulous, he's so organized, he's worked for some of the best people in the business. He knows much more than I do in a lot of aspects. When it comes to taking care of the horses, I'm always learning from him. In that respect, the horses get, handled all day, hand walks, turnout, treadmill, riding, all of that. And then Hugo, obviously, there's so much that goes into the day-to-day care of the horses. That would be like a whole, could be an hour-long conversation. After training, jump training very specifically, they always ice their legs for 20-30 minutes. I use Incrediwear bandages on some of the horses, maybe some that I find either had a soft tissue injury or are just maybe more, get a little more puffy than others. So they would wear those. And then after training, you would hose down the legs with the bandages on. It works to cool the legs. Then we would ice. Then they get poulticed, or we use our back on track wraps depending on the horse and how much work. And then the last part of that question was at a show. I tend to, if I'm jumping at home or, you know, after I show, they pretty much get the same care. Next question was from Shannon Cedar Williamson. What is your most memorable or proud equestrian experience? There's a few. I would say now, my most proud would be Donatello winning the 5-star in our last Grand Prix together in WEF, the 400,000. It was my first 5-star Grand Prix, main Grand Prix win. He's only 9 years old. We got him as a 6-year-old, so we developed him. I've, like I said, never won a 5-star Grand Prix and never had one that we developed from that young of an age to jump in those classes as successfully as he has already. So that was like a super proud moment for my whole team. You know, memorable, yeah, that was definitely one of the most memorable. But also I would say Aachen in 2009 with Cadet. We had, you know, one of the best weeks of my life, and we were second in the speed the first day, and then we won the Warsteiner Grand Prix, which was the second Grand Prix that week, and then we were 7th in the Grand Prix of Aachen, and he was named Horse of Aachen. Hala Trophy is what he won. So that was an incredible week. Last question would be from Rosie Matthew. Why did you switch from riding for the USA to riding for Israel? There are a few reasons why I did this. So I am Israeli. My father was born there. I was born in Israeli. I've always felt half Israeli, half American. You know, my father was the one that was kind of not wanting me to switch to ride for Israel because, you know, obviously Israelis can be targeted. You know, it's something that I've been wanting to do for longer than, you know, obviously when I did it a few years ago, but I had been talking about it for a while. One of the main reasons is because I identify so much with Israel, and I am so proud of being an Israeli, and I just felt like it was the country that I wanted to represent at the highest level and bring recognition to. The other part of it is that I'm a mom and I have my family, and competing for the US there's a lot of riders, and you know, I would have to be at a show every single weekend, and it'd be really hard on my family and myself. Both of those reasons, and I feel like I made the absolute best decision for me spiritually and for my family, and I couldn't be happier, and things are just going so well, and I'm really looking forward to the future. So thank you guys for the questions, and I hope you're all staying safe during this crazy time, but hopefully we will be out of this soon.